Hi there, I'm Glenn Morris from the Smart Energy Lab, and today we're going to unbox the SENEC Home 3 hybrid inverter. SENEC is the biggest residential storage system manufacturer in Germany and one of the largest in the world. SENEC have over 100,000 systems installed around the world. Wow. We're going to start with an unboxing, get into it, read the manual. Well, actually, first up, do the training, then read the installation manual, and then make sure we've got all the parts and pieces before we start our install. But really, as an unboxing experience, I really love the fact that there's minimal packaging that's not recyclable. There's a little bit of polystyrene foam, it's not too bad, but mostly it's cardboard, a little bit of bubble wrap, which I use and recycle for sending items, so that's great. And the unit itself is got a shock or tilt sensor built onto the outside of the box. So it's actually got information about how it's been handled in transit, which is great. So if you do have a dispute about poor handling of the product, you've actually got some evidence with their tilt meter on the side of the box to alert you to that fact on delivery. Anyway, let's get into the unboxing. Look, obviously I didn't lift that. But anyway, that's the box. Let's check out what's inside. Okay, so we've taken it out of the box, but I guess you want to know all about its specifications. So let's just run through the data sheet to get an idea of what it can do. Now, this is the Home V3 Hybrid. I've got the 10 unit, which is 10 kilowatt hours, which is consists of two 5 kilowatt hour Samsung battery modules. So that's going to give a total weight of about 115 kilos fully loaded. Well, I should point out it comes in three components, basically the empty cabinet with the inverter built in and two separate boxes with the battery modules. So you're not lifting 115 kilos, you're lifting, a third of that roughly. And there is, of course, the accessories box, which is actually packed inside the inverter itself. I also got a meter in a separate box. This is the energy meter for measuring exchange of energy with the grid for maximizing self-use. So the unit I've got here is 115 kilos fully kitted out. The battery modules are 34.5 kilos each. So it's a two-person lift to be safe, but otherwise pretty easy to load them into the unit. The system we have is a single phase. I believe there are other options in other countries, but the one we have here is a single phase unit. It's rated at 10 kilowatts. It's rated at 5 kilowatts of power, but 10 kilowatt hours of storage. And it's connected to the cloud via wired Ethernet. Now, that's the most reliable way that you can have a connection for monitoring. Wi-Fi is all very cool, wireless, it's great, but until the customer changes their Wi-Fi password and then it stops working. And how often has that happened to you? So I really like wired Ethernet. Basically, it's a plug-in solution, very reliable, no issues with signal strength over distance. So big plus there. It's got a really high maximum voltage on the PV, 750 volts, though at the moment here in Australia, we're limited on domestic installations on grid to 600 volts max, so no problem going right up to the maximum. It's got 2 MPPTs, so that means you can have a mixture of panels and string types, which is a real plus. Now they have a really high current rating, so you can have 20 amps per MPPT of input current, and the short circuit rating on these is 23 amps. Now 23 amps really helps when you consider the 1.25 times multiplier for the short circuit current rating of a module, and now modules are getting bigger and bigger in terms of their current rating, so that's a big plus. The MPPT range, 75, right up to 650 volts. Of course, we've got to cap it out at 600 for on-grid domestic. So really wide voltage window. And as I mentioned, the batteries are really high quality batteries. These are the Samsung SDIs, so very, very reliable. These are lithium ion, nickel, manganese, cobalt, so energy dense, same as you got on your phone and laptop. The nominal battery voltage is 51.5 volts, and we've got a usable capacity of 9 kilowatt hours. So really 90% of the battery's capacity is usable. They can be charged from DC at 3 kilowatts, and they can be discharged at 3.5 kilowatts. So that's your maximum charge and discharge when you're using the battery and the built-in hybrid inverter. So of course, it's approved. It's got 4777 Part 2 approval for use on grid here in Australia. And I'm excited because it's such a cool looking unit. Anyway, check out the installation video up here. Cool. See ya.